those of you who find it hard to have hope. Yes, and talking about hope, there is a post I saw from Nnamdi Kanu's special counsel talking about the implications of him choosing to represent himself in the High Court and also the Appeal Court, and what it portends and what the implications are, because definitely the law says something and something else is happening.
Welcome back to today's broadcast. In fact, the thing that is going on right now in the courts and the fear that is in the mind of Nigerian government, the main reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said he want to take the bull on his horn, that he want to represent himself. So in this video, this our brother, everybody knows him, is going to explain to us a lot of things that is into that issue. The main reason why the government is afraid of him representing himself and the implication in it and the benefit in it. So there are a lot of things that is happening right now in the courts. So as you can see, the previous video we posted, we are talking about the editing. Nigerian government edits so that it can suit them when they submit their reports concerning the appeal, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu appeal in the courts. So this is another revelation and another review that is going to expose a lot of things that is in the government and also that is in the courts. So as you can see, a lot has been happening. The issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu release every day and night, debates upon debates, both the international body, both the national, the way everybody has been debating about his release. So as it is now, the government is afraid because they don't know what will be the next step of America. So as you can see the other day, John James, when he was talking in the Congress House, and he was saying that Nigerians should judge Mazi Nnamdi Kanu with in a due process, and then they should do the right thing, that they should not be doing something that the government tell them to do, that they should follow the way it's supposed to be. And then, all those things is causing heavy fire everywhere. That is why you see many things is happening. So the Nigerian government, they are afraid of him. They are afraid of him. That is it. Well, I would like you to watch it so that you understand things happening in Nigeria. You're about to watch, like, subscribe, and make sure you share it for everyone to see things going on in Nigeria.
Today is the 16th day of June 2026, exactly a Tuesday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching me from. I'm happy to see you, and I hope you are also happy to see me as we keep forging ahead on the emancipation of Ndigbo, the freedom of Biafra, and the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I want to remind you that every day we see, every day we enter, it keeps us closer to the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Not minus, but plus. We are forging closer to the release of Nnamdi Kanu. It is getting closer as we speak. Just for you to know, for those of you who find it hard to have hope. Yes, and talking about hope, there is a post I saw from Nnamdi Kanu's special counsel talking about the implications of him choosing to represent himself in the High Court and also the Appeal Court, and what it portends and what the implications are, because definitely the law says something and something else is happening. That post was somehow controversial, but for this video I want to read it for you, then we will look into what the lawyer was trying to say. Whatever you're doing, please leave it and focus on this video, because you don't want to miss a bit of what I'm about to reveal to you. He wrote those. He said how Nnamdi Kanu's self-representation flawed his conviction in the court. I don't really understand what he meant by that, but let's keep going. He said, following the debriefing of his legal team led by Chief Kanu Agabi SAN, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu firmly announced his intention to personally handle his own defense. the trial court accepted this waiver of counsel, asked if he wanted an assigned lawyer, noted his rejection, and then proceeded. Now that the case lies on appeal, the deeper central question the Court of Appeal must confront is this: can a defendant facing charges that carry the death penalty legally waive his right to counsel under law? This is a wonderful question. Then he said, the answer is no. In allowing Nnamdi Kanu to represent himself in a trial involving capital offenses, the learned trial judge unarguably committed a fatal fundamental error in law. Was that a trick? Did Kanu trick them? Let's go on. Under the Nigerian criminal justice system, the right to legal representation in capital offenses is not a luxury. The defendant is not a luxury the defendant can decline. It is a rigid and mandatory constitutional safeguard that the court has an absolute duty to enforce, even against the explicit wishes of the defendant. Are you saying that Omotosho should have rejected it? Are you saying that that was a Trojan horse? Let's go on. At first glance, there exists an illusion of permissible self-representation that lies in section 36, subsection 6c of the Constitution, which appears to sanction self-representation by stating that every person charged with criminal offense is entitled to defend himself in person or by legal practitioners of his own choice. That may be so in misdemeanors or less severe felonies, where the choice to speak for oneself is a permitted prerogative. However, the Constitution does not operate in a vacuum. It is anchored on the ultimate pillar of fair hearing, and contemporary Nigerian criminal jurisprudence has long recognized that the gravity of capital offenses, which is where human life hangs in the balance, strips away the court's discretion to permit self-representation. This directive is enacted under the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, which explicitly curtails the right to self-representation when the stakes are grave. Section 267, subsection 2 of the ACGA leaves no wiggle room for ambiguity when it provides that where a defendant is charged with a capital offense or an offense punishable with life imprisonment and he is not represented by a legal practitioner, the court shall appoint a legal practitioner for his defense. The operative word utilized in the above provision is shall. In statutory representation, it is an established canon that shall denotes a command. It imposes a mandatory duty, leaving zero room for judicial discretion or a defendant's personal whims. Thus, when Kanu's legal team stepped aside, Justice Omotosho's question should not have been, do you want me to assign a lawyer to you? Instead, the judge should have immediately made an unyielding decision to appoint a lawyer for him. Why? Because Kanu's refusal of counsel is invalid as a matter of law, pure and simple. The Supreme Court has repeatedly held that the presence of counsel in capital trials is a condition precedent to the validity of the trial. In Josiah versus the State, 1985, the Apex Court held that in capital offenses, a defendant must be represented by a counsel at all stages of the trial. This was reaffirmed forcefully in Ganiu versus State, 2013, where the Supreme Court made it abundantly clear that a trial conducted for a capital offense without legal representation is a nullity, as its absence completely robs the trial court of its jurisdiction. Granted that Justice Omotosho may have felt justified in forging ahead given Kanu's articulate disposition, yet, as a matter of law, lay competence is not a substitute for counsel. A capital trial involves intricate rules of evidence, procedure, and navigation of highly complex constitutional and statutory frameworks unique to capital offences trial. So, by permitting Kanu to navigate this labyrinth alone, the court allowed a fundamental constitutional infraction that may very well void the entire outcome of the trial. This was written by Barrister Aloy Ejimako, Nnamdi Kanu's trial. He has been writing pieces, part of briefs like this, in event of the appeal, which is upcoming. Personally, I do not understand why such wonderful pieces that are meant to form arguments in the appeal court should be written in public. But let's leave that aside and focus on the points he raised in this piece, trying to argue that Nnamdi Kanu had no right to defend himself in the High Court, and Omotosho should not have allowed it because it is against the Nigerian Constitution to defend yourself in cases of grave consequences like that. That is what he's trying to argue. And in fact, it might lead to the case being null and void because Kanu was not in a position to decide if he will represent himself or not. That's what he's trying to say. But this is what I have to say. In as much as I respect Aloy Ejimako and he's trying to explore loopholes to get us victory in this case, I don't think we should dwell our time on this because Nnamdi Kanu had every right to defend himself. There are enshrined rights in the Constitution that you cannot take away. Like I said, there are basic laws that no law can truncate, and that is the freedom to represent oneself. It's a very strong law. So there is nothing wrong in Kanu representing himself in the appeal court, in the High Court. That means High Court because that is his right. What if all the lawyers are not existing? Won't he stand for himself? So this argument that it may help the appeal, please let us focus on the issues, not technicalities, because technicalities cannot win us this case. Human rights perception that Kanu is a prisoner of conscience, international attention and international intervention can't win us this case. The basic realities in the case itself, which is the fundamentals of the case and irregularities of the case, can win us this case, not technicalities. I've never seen where you are entering a court to fight the federal government and you are expecting to win on technicalities. They are the ones that will win you, not you win them on technicality. So wave that aside because it makes no sense. At this point, I want to tell Aloy Ejimako to please give us good updates, as regards the appeal, because you are close to Kanu, not this because it makes no sense at this point trying to tell us why Kanu will win the appeal because he didn't have a lawyer. He chose to rep himself as his right. I don't know where it not become his right again in the appeal court, in the High Court, to rep himself. It is his right. It is his right. We should be very, very, at this point in time, very focused on the brief, which is the things that are important. Let us not go to court to waste time. In the appeal court, the focus is on the brief, on the case itself. It is part of the constitution of the appeal court. If you divert the court's time, if you divert the court's attention on other things, you will lose the case. Yes, I have raised that in this video before a few months ago, that the appeal court strictly on the brief. Except you're saying that this was in the brief. If it is in the brief, then we can know that yes, we have an argument for the brief. But the brief itself should be focused on the case, not on technicalities. You cannot write a whole brief talking about how Nnamdi Kanu raped himself. Then Omotosho was supposed to tell Nnamdi Kanu not to rape himself. That's, to me, makes no, at this point, we should not be talking about that. It's, I won't say childish, but it's not what we want to hear now. What we want to hear now is that the lawyers are ready, that Kanu is ready for his appeal, and we, at least, even if it's bringing back Ozekome, that is what we want to hear. You know what I think now about this? I don't think it's important, because this is not the content of the appeal. Kanu was illegally renditioned. He was kidnapped in Kenya, brought into Nigeria against international protocols. Nigeria broke laws to bring Kanu here. That is a fundamental case we should keep sticking to. It won us before, we win it again, and we'll stand on what we believe in to get victory in the appeal court. Simple as that. And also, Omotosho did not convict Kanu with any known law. Look, there is no argument above all that. And Kanu is not a terrorist. He is a prisoner of conscience, held because of what he believed in, not what he did. Let's shape the case within this ambit. Not about Kanu, his own personal lawyer, and not. That's not why we are here. Let us not appear childish in the eyes of the world. Because they'll be like, is that what they are going to bring to court? Is this what Aloysius Marco going to bring to court? Is this what Kanu will bring to court? At this point, let us not look like caricatures in the world. Thank you very much.
Yes. This is a very serious, heating debate, big debate. The issue of representative or not representing himself. Well, you all have heard everything that's happening. We believe on that day that he's going to represent himself in the rightful way, because at the beginning, what Omotosho did in the court, he did not do it right. He did not use court procedure and to jail him. Just something that just look around and find something and pin him. So all those things they are doing, they know what they are doing. Well, let's look into the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the whereabouts of his death sentence, how it comes about, and the reason why everybody start hearing from everywhere, death sentence. Just listen from his lawyer, then you understand what is really going on in between Nigerian and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
Lovers of freedom, good morning everybody. I just want to give you update with respect to what is happening. A few days ago, I made an update here when I was in Sokoto about respect to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's well-being and the ongoing matter pending matter at the Court of Appeal. And I also told you that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, of course, you know, have decided to exercise his right under the Constitution to represent himself in his criminal matter at Court of Appeal, which is his fundamental right. And he's not the first person that is representing himself. People have been representing himself. Is the constitutional right given to him by the Constitution. So, but he also demanded that the legal experts who cares should submit their own submit a contribution which they made. Of course, it is necessary. Nnamdi Kanu, not only that she is not a lawyer, even lawyers, when you are doing a matter, you normally call for opinion from your colleagues, not to talk about somebody who is not a lawyer. So he called for that everybody, if you have a draft appellate brief, you feel that you can adopt, you should come up with it. So I did my own. So I submitted to him and asked him to go through it. Because my own, I feel that it fall in line with the record of proceedings and the grounds of the appeal. So, and if you watch that copy, it was not signed, it was not filed. I also posted it in my own page. This is what I submitted to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for those of you who are not lawyers to see, to have an in-depth view, to have a clue of what happened in that particular judgment. Because if you read out my appellate brief, I illustrate a lot of things with respect to the decision of the court, fundamental rights, violation of its fundamental rights, and a lot of things that happened, which it was not signed, it was not filed. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has not even adopted it, but I just brought it there. So those of you, of course, those the lovers of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the lovers of freedom, and those who cares to know, they give me a call privately and give me a private chat to get more explanations about what I posted. I explained to them, so and they said okay, and they thanked me and they appreciated the industry I put in preparing and analyzing and reviewing that appeal. So those of you, of course, we expected those who want to expose their ignorance of the law, those who want to exhibit their hatred against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, jump into the page as usual and start attacking the person and start attacking my very self. But that one is not why I am here. Then why I am here this morning is to let you know that in the course of going through that judgment, I discovered that there are some things the judge said during the course of delivering the judgment that was not contained in the judgment. And thank God that the judge also ordered for that the proceedings of the judgment should be transmitted live. We have media people there, AIT was there, channels were there, Arise was there, and some other media houses were there. So in revealing the tape, the video tape, the things that my lord said with respect to the custodian where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will serve his appeal was not contained. The thing the prosecution counsel said, the comments and the remarks the prosecution counsel said, I'm talking about Chief Awumolo SAN, it was not also contained there. And the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was not given an opportunity. Remember that he was bundled out of the courtroom. He was not also contained there. And most importantly, the reason the judge gave, the reason he bundled Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and the reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should not be served in Kuje, rather in Sokoto, was also not contained there. So there are some omissions in that particular judgment. So we have the clip, we have reviewed the clip. Now we are now bringing a motion challenging that particular record of proceedings and that particular judgment. Why should the judge and the court remove all those fundamental issues? Because they know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will use it to form part of the use it as a grounds for his appeal. But be that as it may, we have filed and prepared a motion. This is the one I posted here, asking the court to compel them to complete that record and that judgment, and also to stay and also file an affidavit to be served to the judge and to the registrar of the court to come and explain the reason why they should not produce all those omissions. So that is why I say, let me just give you the update. For those of you who feel that you don't want to see anything that you don't want to see or hear anything that has to do with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the public domain, you are wasting time. We should be giving update, just like as we have a high demand of people calling Marisamacho, what is happening by Samacho. So we are not going to keep in that. We are going to be bringing it every update. So those of you who feel that you don't want to hear anything or see anything that has to do with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you can go and hug transformer. But meanwhile, for those of you who are interested in what is going on with respect to this Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's matter, please remain focused. If you watch the majority of people that attack Maxwell, attack Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, attack Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, are the people that the federal government is sponsored, and you will see them jumping from one social media to another. Even when you are not invited them in your page, they will continue. Even when you try to delete them, they will go and create another Facebook name to join you, to follow you. But we decided to allow them to continue to expose their ignorance and stupidity. Thank you and God bless you.
So what Barrister Maswara Okpara explained is that the record of the proceedings of the Court of Appeal, of the Federal High Court that they used to sentence Nnamdi Kanu, that there are so many things that Justice Omotosho did which is repugnant to natural justice and equity and the proceedings of the court, like seeing Nnamdi Kanu representing himself and he sent him out. So he carried out the judgment in absence of Nnamdi Kanu, not because there is any lawyer representing him. And he said that these things were not presented to the Court of Appeal. Like, they omitted it, knowing fully well that the court erred. Like, when you see your mistakes, you say, no, cut that one out, cut it out, send the other records to the Court of Appeal. So that is what he's just trying to explain. But for me, about this issue of Nnamdi Kanu case, I've decided to rest, okay? I've decided to rest my head because I know fully well that come some Nnamdi Kanu will be released. But I don't know, and I don't have the conviction if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be released by Nigerian courts, if he will be released. He was discharged by appeal court before. He was granted bail by Federal High Court before, but everything was turned upside down as we are seeing today. So that is when I decided to conclude that it is interest, not law. It is interest. The case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is interest, not law. So it is interest that is pushing the federal government to do whatever they are doing. And you can see that even him being transferred to Sokoto, where there is terrorists or terrorism or insurgency, it is also an interest. Just to show him that, yes, Sokoto Caliphate is the one that is controlling Nigeria. Sokoto Caliphate will rule Nigeria. You are trying to divide Nigeria. You are trying to secede with your people. We are going to tell you that you are under us. That is what it means to transfer him from Abuja to Sokoto State. They didn't see Lagos, they didn't see Enugu, they didn't see Abia, they didn't see Abuja, but they took him to Sokoto State. Why didn't they take Boko Haram members to Sokoto State? Al-Qaeda terrorists, they gave only 10 years imprisonment. They left them in Abuja. And these people confess that they have killed countless people. So what violent action is Omotosho talking about when he said because of his violent action that they should take him to Sokoto State? Omotosho is alive, thank God he is alive. He is now seeing how his people are being butchered. He is now seeing how his people are being beheaded. He is now seeing how terrorists are chasing his people out of the bush. Not out of the bush alone, out of the city, out of every community. Royal fathers are being chased out of their palaces. Omotosho is seeing that, right? That is the meaning of terrorism, and those people are terrorists. But guess what? The same government is still going to release these people. The same government is still going to free them. No problem. The time is coming and we'll know who is who.
Yes. Now, you all have seen the way everything is happening in the whole things surrounding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the courts, and also the Nigerian government. Already, all their plan, all their target, it is for them to just keep him there until whenever they want to release him, then they will now settle their mind and release him. They know the whole things. They know that all the offense, all the thing that they are claiming that he committed, they did not have any evidence to prove, and they did not even have anything to say, yes, look at why they prison him. And that is why you see Omotosho and the people that is supporting him, Tunubus, the main reason why they are running out asket, making every way to see if they can hold anything in hand. That is the thing. If you're listening from the beginning to the end, you'll be seeing where all the thing they have been doing, it is being jumped. They are wrong in every of them. They are very, very wrong in it. So, but at the end, I will tell you that it is a court. So in Nigeria of today, as you that you don't have anything, and you are depending and believing that once you go to court, that they are going to do it well. They are going to judge the case in a very rightful way. So at the end, things change. Mostly when it involves issue of politics, when it involves issue of politicians and you. So that is how everything used to happen. And then you come to the issue of terrorism in Nigeria. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have never been seen like a terrorist in anywhere around the world, both in the country, both outside. But the only people who sees him as a terrorist is only the government, the politician, those people that is milking the country every day, because of he used to come out to speak the truth and to tell them to stop the evil thing that they are doing. And also the issue of his people. He cannot sit and see his people keep dying and keep suffering every day. And the people that they claim that they are representing them. They are not even doing anything. So he did not have the mind to also to sit down and be watching people keep dying every day without doing the needful. That is why he stand up and say that he must fight for his people. Not only his people, he's fighting for the whole people in Nigeria, and he's fighting for the whole Africa. Those who are into marginalized, those that have been marginalized in the country, those that have been suffering from the leaders, and those that didn't have anything to hold hand. So he's fighting for everyone. But due to the myopic some people are, then they will tell you that he's fighting to secede out from Nigeria. He's fighting to divide Nigeria. He's doing this. So not so. He's trying all his best to make sure that you and I have a better life in this country, because every resources, everything the country used to live, the only people that is benefiting from them, it is only the politicians and their children. So as for anybody else, you are just living by the grace of God, not by what you have in your own land, not by what the government is giving to you, in which the government need to be giving you as a citizen some benefits because you are part of the country. But at the end, we have seen nothing but the people who rise up to fight for the survival of the masses. At the end, some people will now be seeing them like they don't know what they are saying. And that is how it used to be in everywhere and in every country. Well, I would like your comment down below. What do you think about the thing going on in Nigeria? Mostly the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu appeal. Like, subscribe, and share it for everyone to see things happening in Nigeria. So thank you for watching.